This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for January 8th, 2020. Q is going to close here 0.75, up 0.75, SPY up 0.52, was up more. And the important thing to note here is the breakout failure here. It's even more apparent on the 15 here. Set up this base, rallied, and then got rejected. Okay, so something a little bit different than what we've been getting. It's been quite the grind higher, right? And there were two things that I outlined that I want to see for us to really take notice if they happen. Okay, not necessarily automatic top setting in kind of price action, but what we'll have to take notice if they happen, right? One of them was we get a large gap down that completely breaks this hourly uptrend. We haven't really gotten that. The other was if we accelerate away from price, from the trend, and then fail. And we haven't really got that acceleration either. This is the closest that we've gotten. We got a little bit of acceleration up and away here, right? So what I'm going to be looking for is not necessarily that, okay, the top is in, because we didn't quite get what I was looking for, but we got some degree of it. So what I'm going to be looking for is this 216 area on the Qs and SPY. Is it going to hold? If it holds, if it turns into a base, if that support becomes relevant, or we even bounce off it and start to base somewhere near the highs, all right, then no longer looking for any kind of retracement. So for right now, looking for us to retrace back to around 216. Now, if we cut through the 216, okay, next, and we go right through it like it's not even there, or we spend a little bit of time before busting through it, then I'm going to be looking at the next rally as a shortable opportunity. Okay, so I am going to be giving this breakout failure credit as if we had gotten that blow off top that I was looking for. This is a much smaller degree than I had envisioned as far as the acceleration, as far as how much higher we would have gone in a quick fashion before reversing. I don't think we moved up that much. I don't think we got that extended, right? But the pattern is there, just not to the extent that I would have anticipated, especially after the kind of grind that this has been in. So I am taking note of today's late day reversal, this breakout failure. New high prices were not able to hold, got rejected. Okay, and then into this 216 area, we'll see what kind of support is there that is going to support price or not. And that's what we'll be watching for. So expecting a little bit more lower prices going into tomorrow, and then this will be kind of our key inflection point that I'll be watching. On the SPY here, it's going to be into this 323 area, okay, where we got all this overlap, all this consolidation. We rallied from there previously. Buyers should step up if for some reason, right, that area is not able to hold. Maybe we get a gap down tomorrow or something, more kind of news, geopolitical news comes out, then we've got that start of the rollover here on the shorter time frames. We'll be looking at the next hourly sell setup or breakdown as a shortable opportunity, and then we'll be watching the daily and the weekly to see if it's time for it to also start coming in. Okay, so taking note of today's new high that wasn't able to really follow through. So going into tomorrow, we got a little bit something different to watch for. Okay, so that's kind of exciting, right? All right, on to more excitement. All right, talking about today's plays. Now, there were a lot of climactics. I wouldn't be surprised with the increased volatility if we see more. And there's one thing I kind of want to bring to your attention to compare, whether it's we're looking at a climactic or not, or a power trend. Okay, just because something is up a lot doesn't mean you should be trying to pick the top constantly. And especially if you have, here we have the 8 and the 20 on the 5 here, especially if you have essentially these parallel lines. We call them railroad tracks, but this is a sustainable power trend. In fact, you can even fall in and play it higher, continue to move your stop up. Okay, this is not the kind of thing that you want to be trying to pick the top in. Now, of course, eventually it will come in a little bit, got a little bit of acceleration. Okay, but what you want to be looking for to play counter trend, something that gets far and away, extended away from the 20 MA. The smaller 20 MA is peeling away, widening the gap, right, from the slower moving average so that it is accelerating away. Okay. Now, if you played this WW with me as well today, then you know that did take 2 tries. We did get triggered into it on the first run up right here. We did get triggered into it. You can see maybe this wasn't as good of a play, but I did really like the daily. I like that the daily was up multiple days here, so I was willing to take a less than perfect play, even on a strategy that I actually very rarely play, which is counter trend. So I did like this setup quite a bit. Maybe the entry wasn't perfect. We did get triggered in here, and then it did stop out. Now, as you know, especially if you do play Climbos, you often have to give them a second try. It made one more run up, and then there was the entry, right? And then targets were, for me anyway, the 1 and the 2 minute 20 MA to retrace back to. Okay, so look at the way that the 20 MA here and the 8 MA just separate, right? Expands away, indicative of that acceleration, more likely that you're going to get something of a top. When it's something like the CLVS, right, and it's just kind of not able to expand away, you're getting parallel lines, then that's when you want to be cautious of trying to play it counter trend. Okay, so we'll see. I thought there was a lot this morning of Climbos, but that also might have been because there was more time for me to scan because I didn't think the gaps were all that good, right? I've been talking about the importance of doing our pre-market prep, and sometimes you're going to go through the gaps list, you're going to prepare and have no favorites, which was the case for today. So there were no favorites. Initially, there was the STZ, which was gapping over this, and I had it as the favorite long, but as it was actually gapping close to 193, but as the open was getting closer, it started to lose the gap, and you see it ended up gapping into the resistance instead. That this was no longer a favorite, and I didn't have anything I wanted to play at the open. So I did get to scan a little bit more, and so we'll see. I saw a lot of Climbos this afternoon, so I don't think it was just because I had more time to scan it and find extra things. It was just, I think, maybe a little bit of increased volatility, maybe anticipation of earnings season coming up, maybe just a lot of news on individual names or up here at all-time highs. Whatever the reason is, saw a lot of Climbos in the morning and in the afternoon. Okay, so that's why I thought it was maybe a good time to go over the CLVS and the WW, and we'll see plenty more, I think, in the days to come. All right. I hope you did well today. If not, didn't do too much. Like I said, I didn't think the gaps list was very good. There wasn't anything there really I wanted to play at the open. So, if that was the case for you, just hang tight. We do have earnings season just on the horizon. Starts officially next week. Okay? All right. So hope you're doing well, and we'll be back at it tomorrow, and I'll talk to you then. All right? Have a good evening.